To delegate is to be a great leader, and it's one of the real tests of you or anyone as a leader, how well you delegate. Peter, I was asked once by a management trainee in the company, how do you delegate right, was the way he phrased the question. And I said, you don't ever do it exactly right. You're always learning from the doing of delegating. And every situation can be different from the previous one because of the human dynamic. Human beings are always changing, and circumstances around them are changing. So how do you take this responsibility and vest it in someone else and be there for him when he or she needs your support? It's hard to some leaders delegate and they're looking over the shoulder of the person to whom they delegate too much.
And that's not delegation.
That's not delegation. It's their version of it. But it was always a problem for me. Actually, I had something going for me, Peter. I considered myself not good at any of the jobs in the company. I'd tried them growing up, and I wasn't good at them. So perhaps it was easier for me to delegate to others. I knew they'd do it better than I would anyhow.
Caregivers struggle with delegation because we're afraid. We're afraid that somebody's going to mess this up, and
Yes.
number one, they're going to really create a mess. Number two, we're going to have to fix that mess. Or even if we do turn it over, we're going to be sitting there so worried about it that we won't be able to be at peace knowing that it's being done. You and I have talked about this, that the caregiver ecosystem is very much like a corporation. And these principles that work in a healthy corporation work in a healthy caregiver situation. I'm determined that we get all emotional about caregiver, but when it comes down to it, they're good, solid business principles to how to run a caregiving environment with somebody who is chronically ill or disabled. Delegation is one of the critical steps to that, learning how to ask for help, accept help, and identify what help looks like, too.
Absolutely.
And what about that fear? Did you ever have that fear when you were delegated to think, oh, this is going to be a disaster?
Of course I had that fear. And in my father's business, my grandfather had that fear, I'm sure, when he delegated to his son. And there were examples of that where his son failed, but his father did delegate to him. And there has to be a certain amount of trust, even when someone doesn't do it quite as well as you.
But you still need to let it go.
Yes, let it go.
Wise words. We got more coming with Cal Turner Jr. This is Hope for the Caregiver, and we are so glad you're with us. We'll be right back.